Hello everyone, how you guys doing today? Today I wanted to talk about thoughts. Yes, thoughts. Um, Thoughts are what we think about, and it's what comes to mind. Sometimes people have conversations in their mind. Sometimes people just ponder on things. Some people get ideas. Some people, a lot of our day-to-day life happens in our mind. We think about it. We think about a lot of things throughout the day. Um, what I wanted to talk about though was, yes, we have thoughts. We have things that we think about, things throughout the day that we, maybe want to achieve, stuff like that. But there are situations where an idea just comes out of nowhere, or a thought just comes out of nowhere. And I feel that not every thought is our own thought. Sometimes before a person makes a decision, they have some type of mini conversation in their mind before they do it. Almost as if they're talking to something, but, they could be. No, but, you could be just, something probably could have happened to you. Let's say, I don't know, just something minor, like maybe somebody hurt your feelings or something. They said something that might have hurt your feelings. And, you just thinking about like, man, that person really hurt my feelings. But out of nowhere, you get this random thought or idea like, what if I, did this to her, or like some type of act of revenge, like, okay, you want to hurt my feelings, I got you, type stuff. That might not necessarily be you. You might be sitting there pondering, like, that might be a good idea as an act of revenge, but, you're thinking about it like, but, they did this, they did that, I might not do that. Because not all of our thoughts are our own thoughts. I really believe that. And a lot of times before we make a decision, whether it's a good decision or a bad decision, we're always thinking about it and pondering and putting up all the possibilities. Sometimes ideas come out of nowhere and you weren't even thinking about it. Like it could be like something like, you could be, what's a good example? A good example would be, you could be, I don't know, riding a bike or something, or driving, or on your way to a grocery store or something. Then out of nowhere, you're looking at these items and whatever, and then out of nowhere, an idea pops into your mind. What if you just stole one of those things? Then you have a little mini conversation like, man, I could just take it, but then, I don't want to do this because, I could get caught, or I have the money. That's not right. You're thinking. But ultimately, you make the decision whether or not you're going to do it. And the thought to steal might not have came from you. It could have came from an outside source. But the decision, the ultimate decision that you make is your decision. And whatever decision you make, you have to be accountable for that decision. And even with good decisions, like you could be just sitting there and then all of a sudden you have an idea, something good, like, how about I try to learn to play an instrument or something, like something that you never even thought about, like something that never would have crossed your mind, but then all of a sudden, an instrument, maybe I should learn to play an instrument out of nowhere. Because I feel that a lot of things are from outside influences. I feel that the world is based around influence. Music has influence. People have influence over people. Movies have influence over the mind. They tend to influence people's perceptions. They go into a movie theater one way and leave out another way, a whole different type of mindset depending on what kind of movie it is. If it's a horror movie, they go into it and they come out with a whole another feeling than what it was when they came in. Like, that's the whole point, really. And that's just what it is. This whole entire life, our perception and everything is based off influences. And I do feel that there are outside forces that probably plant seeds into people, like into their mind, like, You know, how about you try this? Or, oh, how about this? They're not always good and they're not always bad. Wait, what? They're not always good, and sometimes they are. And, you know, that's the thing. A lot of times when we make decisions, or like when people make the decision to kill someone, they may have been sick from the beginning. They might have been just sick-minded from the beginning. Then again, they may not. It may have been something that's just been planted in them, like as a child, and then they just struggled with it growing up. That can also be a thing. Like thoughts of, I don't know, I remember a person got influenced or convinced that they were gay. You know what I mean? They were a little kid, don't even know what that is. And because they had like a distinct walk to them, everybody was like, oh, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. All the way to the point where they started to actually feel that they were gay, or start considering it like, maybe I am gay or whatever, you know what I mean? And then it's kind of like, that's when the thoughts get planted into the mind. They start having these ideas like, oh, well, how about you try this, or how about you, try that, or whatever, and you have a little mini conversation with yourself like, that's not a bad idea, you know what I mean? So yes, a lot of times, not all the time, our thoughts on our own, they come from outside sources. The decisions that we make, we often ponder on it before we make it. And some people may get to a point where they don't even have to ponder anymore. Like, for example, if they decide to become a stealer or a thief, right? They probably, when they first decided to steal for the very first time, and that idea popped into their mind when a situation presented itself, and they decided to act on that decision. They say, maybe I can get away with this. You know what I mean? And, and then they go ahead and do it. And then if they get away with it, from that point on, they don't have to think about it anymore. They just do it, do it. And then once they get caught, then it's a whole other thing. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my God, Yeah, so I feel basically the whole point of this is that our thoughts are like the main thing in our human life. It's just a part of human, just like talking is just a normal part of human life. Thinking and thoughts, that is too. And a lot of crazy people, they have battles within their mind. Like those crazy psychopath, sociopath people, they have all of that stuff starts in their crazy little minds. You know what I mean? They're just thinking about all this stuff like, oh yeah, And a lot of it is just, it went on for so long to the point where it's just like, so natural and so normal. They don't even have a conscience about it anymore. You know what I mean? So people invite things into their lives. If a person decides to kill a person, then they invited that into their lives, and then they may struggle with it for the rest of their life. They might become a murderer or something, or a person may, decide to, I don't know, do drugs. Next thing you know, that stuff is stuck with them. You know what I mean? So it always starts with that initial thing that you initially do it. After coming up with some type of conscious decision, you contemplate it in your mind first. And then from that point on, you might not even have to do that no more. Or maybe every time you make that decision, you think about it, or you struggle. It's like a battle within yourself. Like, no, this isn't right. I don't want to do it. And ultimately, you either don't do it or you do it. Either way, you have to be accountable for your actions. A lot of people, get away with a lot of things because, oh, they were a sociopath. Oh, they were this. No. A lot of people like to plead insanity in court. No. Own up to that decision you made. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and have a nice day.